In Jonah Hill's directorial debut, he delivered one of the most brutally honest, non-PC coming-of-age films to come out of the late 2010s. And the wildest part, it's about a 13-year-old kid named Stevie who comes from a broken home and is growing up way too fast. This film explores brotherhood, fatherhood, and belonging, and how we search for connection when we don't have structure. It's about how we mistake recklessness for love, especially when we're desperate to feel noticed. It's drenched in 90s nostalgia, from the clothes to the music to the casual homophobia. And Jonah Hill captures how messy youth actually felt, how it was chaotic, fun, and free. Mid-90s was shot in a grainy 4:3 aspect ratio that locks you in emotionally and aesthetically. The cramped visuals reflect the world of these characters that are boxed in, low to the ground, and always moving. Now, what makes 13-year-old Stevie's life so damn hard is that his father is absent. His mother has a rotation of men passing through the crib, and his older brother is physically abusive, but not out of hatred, out of confusion. He doesn't know how to express care, so he comes out as punches and intimidation. His father's absence causes Stevie to build a fragile support system out of a group of older boys who don't really know how to lead. Ray, who we'll talk about a bit more later, becomes the closest thing to a role model, but even Ray is just a teen. But still, that matters, because even if these boys can't provide protection, they provide presence. Little Stevie is innocent, polite, and impressionable. He has good manners and thanks everyone. There's a scene where he thanks Ronald, one of the older skaters, and Ronald tells him, "Don't say thank you to boys, that's gay." And Stevie absorbs it, uncritically, because he's that young. He's that naive and that impressionable. Stevie is struggling to connect with kids his own age, so when a group of older teenage skaters brings him in, he clings to them because they're cool and they welcome him without hesitation. But they drink, skip school, live loud and carelessly. And guess what Stevie starts doing? For him, it's the validation he needed, the feeling of finally being noticed. And it's such a relatable dynamic because these older boys aren't exactly role models, but they aren't inherently bad either. They're just kids figuring out life while accidentally raising someone younger. Ray, who I mentioned earlier, is at the center of that group. He sees the bigger picture. He's calm, he's focused, and he wants to go pro. And you can feel how seriously he takes it. But there's friction. Their friend, fuck shit. Yes, his name's fuck shit. He drinks too much, and he doesn't have any real ambitions beyond partying and skating. And Ray tries to pull him back into the right path. You can feel the stomach turning tension between them. One chasing growth, the other chasing chaos. Ray never says it out loud, but you know he's outgrowing the crew. It reminded me of that lyric from the rapper Currency, where he says,
"From the beginning, I knew I would be bigger. I knew I would be different. I was outgrowing friendships. Some of them didn't get it, and that's why they got it."
That's Ray. Still loyal, still present, but emotionally, he's already somewhere else. And that hit me personally because when I was a teenager, I had a close friend. Let's call him Zeke. We skated, we joked around, we played too much, just like all teenage boys do. One day I helped him sneak to his room past his mom and sister after he got drunk. Another time, I stopped him from getting to a fight with gang members. At the time, it felt like I was just being a good friend. But when I went off to college, he stayed in the same cycle, still running with the wrong crowd, and eventually we drifted apart. That separation doesn't always come from a fight. Sometimes just change in time does what they do. That's why brotherhood is such a powerful theme in this film. Even when it's messy and even when it's harmful, these kids aren't perfect for each other, but they show up. They skate, they party, they laugh. And in a world that offers them so little structure, that presence becomes its own form of love. Poverty also sits quietly in the background of this film. You can tell the kids don't have much, but they have skateboards and each other. And that shared passion becomes their identity, their outlet, and their rebellion. The way this film balances grime and intimacy reminded me of what it would feel like if Alt Future ever made a feature film. Loud, chaotic, and offensive. But under all the smoke, there's realness. And that's what makes mid-90s so special. It doesn't give you a message, it gives you a summer. One of those stretches of time where everything changes and nothing is explained. Sometimes the people who shape you most aren't meant to stay. Sometimes belonging doesn't mean safety. And sometimes you look back at the people who are around you, whether they were family or friends, and you realize maybe they had growing to do too. If you have or haven't seen this movie, let me know in the comments. Drop a like if you're feeling this and subscribe if you want more of this content. And I'll catch you on the next one.